päästä sisään tasautumasta sinne.
Pitäisikö mulla ottaa toinen pois?
So good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. My name is Jari Augustin. I'm the CEO of Creanord, and I'll be doing the presentation together today with my colleague, Mr. Klaus Dell. So he holds the PhD degree in mathematics, and he is the senior system engineer at Creanord. So we both have a long, more than 25-year history of working with telecommunication solutions, including all the IP MPLS routers, carrier Ethernet switches, network management platforms, and quality service assurance solutions as well. And today we will be starting our Pulse of Networks webinar series. So this is the first one. And we will begin the series by talking about the value and essentials of active service assurance. So within the next 30 minutes, we will cover the following topics. So what is active service assurance, what it means, and why it matters, why it's important for the service providers. Second, what is the value and business impact of deploying it? And then we will complete the webinar with a solution demonstration and Q&A. But before going into the actual topic, a few words about Creanord. So why do we talk about the active service assurance? So Creanord was founded 20 years ago, and during all these years, Creanord has been building solutions and accurately track network performance, which enable service providers to build outperforming really high quality networks. So we are specialized in active service assurance. Today, millions of network connections are being measured and managed with Creanord products. Our technologies are implemented in more than 30 countries and in more than 50 networks worldwide. And our customers include tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 operators and many critical communication providers as well. And we are definitely proud of these numbers. So however, the customer quotes, as shown on the slide, do have a special importance for us. So quotes which show that our technology has enabled our customers to build better networks. That is definitely important. Or like the quote as shown on the right-hand side of the slide, which says it typically takes two email. If the customer has any issues, it typically takes 2 emails where Techon confirms the issue is fixed. So that kind of quotes are definitely something to be proud of. So what does the active service assurance really mean? So today there are 2 technologies how to measure and assure the network services. So you can monitor networks passively, or like the Creanord does, deploy active monitoring solutions. So these technologies are complementary, almost symbiotic, and by implemented together can provide the best possible performance for the telecommunication networks. So passive monitoring means that live network traffic is collected in certain locations of the network. So those can be collected directly from the network elements or from a specific passive probes. So as its simplest, passive monitoring can mean like things like reading port statistics. But however, nowadays, passive monitoring typically used for traffic and protocol analysis. It's like analyzing signaling traffic, understand the usage of certain applications, bandwidth monitoring, and so on. But passive monitoring has certain shortcomings. So it requires basically network data. So it can be used only when the network is up and running. Additionally, data is retrieved from certain network elements or passive probes from the network. Basically, it means that the passive monitoring it really isn't commercially viable option for many network-wide deployments. Let's say, as an example, we are talking about large mobile network where the service provider wants to have end-to-end visibility of the latency. So in that kind of scenario, passive monitor really is an optimal choice. And like mentioned earlier, passive monitoring is well suited for detecting issues that affect large part of the network, and by its nature is a bit reactive. So immediate troubleshooting, proactive network monitoring are the main strengths of this technology. And these are the main gaps that can be filled with active service assurance. So you can inject test traffic into the network, you can mimic end user experience, and this fills the gaps of the passive service assurance. So active measurements can be used at turn up when the live traffic isn't available yet. Active monitoring can be deployed really quickly and cost effectively for the whole network, and it enables immediate visibility to network, immediate troubleshooting capabilities, and immediate data insights. So is this important? The answer is definitely yes, to the following market drivers. And these 4 main market drivers are new technologies, customer expectations, need to automate the networks, basically to improve customer satisfaction, improve the profits, and then also the need to proactively manage the networks. So these are the 4 main market drivers. And the technological flux, So it basically means the introduction of 5G, network virtualization, SDN, IoT. So as an example, many 5G services will require today already a really low latency. So as an example, like ultra reliable low latency services are targeted to offer a 1 millisecond latency. The enhanced mobile broadband in 5G, the one-way delay is targeted to be less than 4 milliseconds. So these are really tough targets that require tools to ensure that the promise of the 5G really can be achieved. Obviously, customer expectations are also increasing, so really hard SLAs, hard quality service requirements will be table stakes. So as an example, like in 5G network slicing, or many critical communication services will require really transparent and reliable SLA reporting capabilities. And these definitely will require active service assurance as well. And additionally, the competition between operators is increasing, so it can be important for the service providers to position themselves as high-quality providers, especially for the wholesalers. So 5G and high customer expectations are driving two additional requirements. The first is the network automation. So today, the network management system still in many places is too manual. So there are multiple network management systems, different silos that require even spreadsheets and offline planning tools to make the simplest changes to the network. 5G, IoT, huge number of endpoints, hard quality of service definitely don't make the situation any better. So network operators do need greater automation to cope with the harsh realities of this kind of environment. Additionally, there will be a need for speed and proactiveness. So this goes hand in hand with the network automation as well. So when the networks are becoming extremely complex, new connections, endpoints, devices, then this number is increasing. This kind of reactive way to manage the networks is not the way to go forward. So proactive monitoring is important. It means that your network is continuously searching for signs that indicate the problem is about to happen. So traditionally, operators would only find problems manually. We'll get a trouble ticket, customer complaints, or network team is browsing the data. However, this kind of model of finding network issues is outdated. It doesn't work in the modern world. So that's why it's important to be proactive. Fix the minor issues before they become major. So why the active service assurance matters then? So what are the key active service capabilities? What is important there? The first of all, one really important thing is the granularity. Network monitoring data needs to be granular. More granular, the better. So average network information only is not sufficient. It's like you need to have a visibility on short-term bursts, microbursts, and packet loss to isolate the different problems. So if we look at the following example on the left-hand side of the slide. So this data is one of our customers' network. It's a 5G base station in the central location in one of the capitals in Northern Europe. So in the old world, if you look at one of the first picture, so when 5-minute average figures were used, the bandwidth curve looked really nice, peaking at 675 megabits per second. However, if more granular data is used, the curve looks totally different. Such as a slide, the customer was using 10-second streaming data, and that peaks at 1.5 gigabits per second. So it's a huge difference, and this kind of bursty traffic might cause the traffic loss to critical control and signaling traffic, and service providers definitely need the visibility on that. So granularity is important. The other one is like network quality needs to be reliable. It really needs to be accurate. So service providers need the confidence that network work as it should. So here's an example. There are two tables from a real network where the service provider was originally they was using a router integrated service assurance solution. So it was a router platform with active service assurance capabilities. So the implementation was there, but the data was really inaccurate and not reliable. So as an example, the first table there, it is showing the jitter values. The correct jitter values were on a level of 2 milliseconds, a few milliseconds, which was fine. But for some reason, the old system was like showing huge figures for jitter. It was showing the problem with our significant issues in the network. However, the packet loss figure was totally different. So it was the old system was showing and the packet loss is 0 continuously, no problems at all. Even in certain times, the packet loss actually was quite significant. So the problem was service provider was able to see problems that weren't real. They failed to see problems that they should have. So and this can be fixed by implementing accurate and reliable measurement devices. Also, as an additional requirement, the measurement accuracy needs to be microsecond. Here's a microsecond on a microsecond level. So as an example, if the target delay in a 5G network is 1 millisecond, the measurement accuracy it cannot be 1 millisecond. It must be less than that. So today in the market, the typical requirement is to have one microsecond. And 3 is the proactiveness and automation. So active service assurance enables service providers to proactively follow the network quality. You can follow certain critical customers, certain network segments, measure these truly end to end. So you can have different thresholds for these services. When first of the thresholds is exceeded, then you can fix these issues, these minor issues before they become major. Then the threshold violations can also trigger automation as well. So one end-to-end circuit is exceeding, let's say, a delay target. So it triggers the automation. So the traffic can be rerouted to another link where the quality is better. Or at the same way, if there are any issues on the end-to-end connection, it can initiate a troubleshooting process. So the system shows you are having problems on that link, and the log system will go through all the routers on the same path, which will detect whether there are what router is causing these quality violations. So active service assurance is really creating troubleshooting individual services, connections, customers, and you can do this in real time. You really can be proactive. But it also enables you to be see really granular but average figures of the network. So what is my average delay? What is my average packet loss in the network? And this is also important. Like if the service provider is doing network upgrades, upgrading switches, routers, if it's doing configuration changes on the IPLS configuration changes. So then it's possible to follow in real time how these changes will impact the quality in the whole network. Is the quality getting better or worse? At least now you know the root cause for that, and you can fix those problems before they become major. So active service assurance definitely can provide significant value. It can improve service provider business. It can help the operations, and it can improve the customer experience. So we will start from how it can improve the service provider's business. So obviously, when the network quality gets better, so it minimizes the customer dissatisfaction and penalties, and from the SLA breaches. So as an example, one of our customers say that the churn of their business customers significantly reduced, even by 25% after they implemented assurance solutions. And these business customers can be really valuable for the service providers. And additionally, operators can easily then innovate. Especially wholesalers, can create more data-proven SLAs. Certain links, certain regions can have a higher price, but totally different quality service parameters as well. And this can be then proven to the end customers. Then there are proven impacts on operations. So like mentioned earlier, so as an example, one of our customers in Europe was saying that when they deployed the active assurance solution, only 20% of their circuits did meet the 5 nines availability target. So only 1 month after the deployment, that figure was increased to 60%, which is really a huge improvement. Active service assurance is also commercially viable options for network-wide deployments, like mentioned in the first slide. It's like, as an example, one of our customers was able to deploy our solution with nearly 5,000 base stations in only half a day. So it definitely doesn't take months and months and months to do a deployment. Those can be really rapidly and cost efficiently as well. And then last but not least, obviously, this will improve the customer experience as well. Real-time visibility for the provided services, data-proven SLAs, they can see that they can see what they are paying for. So that definitely builds the trust and improves the loyalty and improves the customer experience. So a few words about Creanord. So like mentioned earlier, we are specialized in active measurements, and we have a product. It's only one solution for that, and it's called as PulseSure. The PulseSure is kind of a framework and includes 2 different products. So the first product is called PulseCore, so which is the management analytics platform, and is responsible for all reporting capabilities as well. So it just needs a lot of data, measurement data, quality data from the network, and then it will be able to do the number crunching. It will be able to show all the SLA dashboards, service activation testing reports, end customer portal is there, and all the SDN, OSS, and BSS integration is done from the PulseCore platform as well. Then PulseCore manages our pulse sensors, which are the measurement devices. So we have a full portfolio of different measurement devices, both hardware and virtual variants. These measurement devices come also in different sizes, small, medium-sized, large measurement devices. But anyways, they are responsible for network measurements, and they will provide the visibility to the network truly end-to-end. From the emulating the user device, they provide the visibility all the way to the core. And this platform, PulseSure, is ideal to be used in the following use cases. So it can be used in the cloud connectivity applications, 5G service assurance, wholesale carrier SLA, enterprise SLA, and critical assurance applications as well. So we will cover all these different use cases and more in our future webinars as well. So just to conclude my part, and I concluded saying why our performance data is better. So, and we are using 4 A's to summarize why our performance data is better. So our data is better because it's active, and it completes the passive data. It is highly accurate, it's highly reliable and scalable, so we are granular all the way to microseconds. It's truly also agnostic, so across any network technology, it can be deployed in any vendor's network smoothly and rapidly. And last, it is also actionable, so it enables proactive assurance and automation network-wide. But now it's time for the demo, so over to you, Klaus.
Thank you. I will provide you 3 highlights from our system. They are quite brief as we don't have much time today, but I would encourage you if you get interested. So please do go to our website, book some time with us, and we'd be very happy to do a more in-depth demo of our system, as well as, of course, any features you are interested in. I'll start with an operations use case example to show to you the value of with our solution, how you can increase your visibility into your network, and also improve the time to resolution, so how you quickly find the issues and fix them. So kind of how you move from being reactive to being proactive, that we talked about here earlier. So here you can see on the screen, you can see our Pulse Score management system. It's web browser based, so you can access it from any device. It can run virtualized in the cloud, whether it's a private or a public cloud. And on the left, you see you then have access to all the features in the system. So there's reporting, SLA operation, network operation, and so forth. Here on this screen, you also see all of the pulse sensor probes, both the virtual and physical probes. So let's go to the map view. This is really where you can quickly get a feel for how your network is looking. So here you see, and you can zoom into the area you are interested in, and then the measurements are color coded. So you have your SLA targets for the services, and if the services are meeting them, it's green. I can see also the latest measurements there in real time in this pop-up chart, and go and examine the individual details. And then, of course, for the links that are red, they have some issues. So the same pop-up chart then will show you the latest events and latest data. And from this chart, then if I think I need to investigate more, I can then drill down quickly to the raw KPIs and do some further troubleshooting analysis. So here I'll see the delays, delay variations, packet losses. We have the packet loss there in red. I can see at 3 a.m. and 2 a.m. I have some packet losses occurring, so it seems to be happening on the hour. I can, of course, go back in time to see further if I see the same patterns, and in this case, I do it. So here, very quickly, for instance, I identified for this service that I do seem to have a regular issue occurring in the network where I'm seeing some packet loss on the hour, every hour. So now, once I've identified this issue, I can then quickly go into the network and resolve it before this is affecting the end user experience. And the next use case that we'll show here is from a business perspective. It demonstrates how you can build a personalized SLAs with our system, and then really start going from managing the network and the links in the network to really looking at the services, which is really the essential part, of course. That's what you are delivering with the network. With our system, you have full flexibility to choose how you want to monitor these services. You can group them together into logical groups, for instance, different 5G slices, access network, leased line, and so forth, or monitor certain important customers. So if we go to the demo part, so here again we see the main window. I jump into the SLA dashboard. In this case, I'm monitoring my leased lines and my own lines separately. I have some important customers with a 5G IoT slice and so forth. And for each of these groups, I can then see color-coded with green and red how many of the services and circuits in that group are okay, that's the green ones, and how many are faulty, that's the red ones, obviously. So let's see, we have the BBVA with having some 5G factory automation service. They have 8 services with issues, so let's go in there and look at the details. Now for each of the services, I can see on different granularities how the performance has been on an hour basis, daily, weekly, monthly basis, to see some trends. I can also go into the more detailed daily, hourly charts, and then further drill down to the KPI, detailed raw KPI charts that we saw earlier, and then do the detailed troubleshooting. So again, I'm very quickly able to focus on the most critical issues in the network and reacting to them before the customer is aware of that. In the last use case, we'll look at an end user from an end user perspective. So now I'm on the pulse of the network, so I have control of my network. With these tools, I'm able to fix the issues before they are affecting the end users. But how do I prove it to the end user? How do I build the confidence and show that I'm actually delivering what my end user is expecting from me? And that's the customer portal that Jari talked about in the presentation. So it looks like this. We have the customer can obviously access it through a web browser, and then he can see all of his services, and actually with the same data as is available to the service provider. So I can in real time go into this portal and check how my services are doing. And again, on the same granularities on hourly, daily, weekly, monthly granularity. If I'm more interested to see on the more detailed KPIs, I have the same drill down capabilities. I can go to the KPI raw. On the next tab, we SLA reports, which are then delivered through this portal. You can, of course, if you have your own portal, you can also integrate these reports into your own portal. And the system will then generate Excel files with showing how the services have been doing for that month. And it will show both the overall pass-fail criteria for the service, as well as the individual measured KPIs and how the service was performing in terms of these KPIs during the month. So I can really get a feel for how the services have been delivered for the last month. In the events view, I see all the active real-time events for my services. If I have some issue with my cloud service, I'm buying some transport capacity, I can quickly see if there's something happening in the network. And I also have the same graphical map view if I feel that that's better to check the status and go and do the same kind. I have the same real-time pop-up charts there. And drill down capabilities as the service provider has. So this really makes the end user also feel that he's very much in control of the network. He can at any point in time see how the network is performing. And of course, it's also all of this data is also, of course, also available through our northbound APIs. Okay, so next it's time for some questions. Let me just check on the chat.
So there's a question whether pulse core is integrated with EcoVolt.
Yeah.
And I would say the pulse core is EcoVolt. So it's like this rebranding. So technically there won't be any differences between the pulse core and the EcoVolt platform. Pulse sensors, those are the former Creanodes like Creanord 500, Creanord 3000, but now the new brand is Pulse sensors.
And then we have one question. So comparing to what routers can do today, how do your probes differentiate to those? So I can take that one. So if you are comparing to what routers do today, one of the big differentiators that we have with our probes is really the scalability. We are talking with our probes, you can do thousands of test targets with multiple service classes, and whereas a router could do maybe a couple of hundred ones. This is particularly important, for instance, in a mobile network where you have a lot of base stations that you want to cover. So you could cover a very big part of the network with just one probe, compared to then stacking a lot of routers in your central location. There's of course also in terms of features, we have a complete set of the delay QoS measurements in our probe, and there are a lot of different options with the to-amp and so forth measurements. So we are covering all of those options, whereas in a router you may have a limited set of features available. And let's see, maybe we have time for one quick more. So how many of your mobile customers are moving?
Sorry, perhaps we could take these ones here.
Oh,
so
sorry, that's
some new ones.
okay. Yeah, let me see. Okay, yes, we had a new one coming in here. Do you keep traffic flows all the time, collecting measurement in the evaluated network? So answer is yes, we are actively probing, and that's one of the benefits here, that we are you can very granularly get a view of the performance. We can send out with millisecond between the packets, or typically it can be maybe 100 milliseconds between the packets, or so that you get a very good view of the quality in the network. So what do you think? Do we have time for one more?
Let's take that one there.
That one, okay. So what are the most important 5G KPIs that can be monitored? So, should I take that one?
Yeah, please.
So in terms of the 5G, of course, as you heard in the presentation, so 5G puts very stringent requirements on the delays and packet losses. So it's really, you definitely want to monitor those and use our SLA capabilities to put thresholds and make sure that if delays and delay variations and packet losses are closing to the getting higher in the network, so that you can react before you are above the allowed delays. So we heard that we have 4 or 5 millisecond delays required from the mobile network. So you definitely want put KPIs and thresholds on that one. Okay, I think that's all we have time for.
Yeah, so
today.
thank you for joining our webinar. And if you are interested in the more detailed demo, so you can request on our web pages. And additionally, there will be information about the next webinars as well. So thank you again, and look forward to seeing you in the upcoming webinars. Thank you.
Thanks.